Nat says, "What the f are you watching? You're watching the end of a very long downward spiral."
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Hey, Ginger Beck indicated she wants to talk.
Yeah.
Oh.
You need to be louder, though.
Okay, is this better?
That's good.
Yep.
Okay, so why did you respond to a question with a personal attack?
Because you were very clearly siding with something or someone on an issue you knew nothing about.
I just I've never seen her say anywhere that she said that she hated you.
But you realize that you're like an ongoing, like you chisel away at people over time, and it's pretty obvious. Like, you have consistently tweeted things that are passive-aggressive, you made comments that are passive-aggressive repeatedly in the past, and then you do this. And let me just make one thing clear. Lainey has a huge problem with anybody who's even remotely supportive of people that are in this position. Like, for instance, the person that you just defended on Twitter went out and said that she was sorry to Sam, who tried to ruin, you know, Lainey's life by attempting to kiss me and ruin her marriage and all that shit. And so she was like, Lainey was so done with Madison the moment that Madison showed favor to Sam. Like, that was it for Lainey. Lainey was so upset by that. And then you show favor for her, Madison, when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And so I'm like, you know what? This ongoing chipping away at us thing, it's kind of bullshit considering how on Lainey's nuts you were a while back. So, like, you showed this intense love for Lainey and so much support, and then all of a sudden, well, maybe this person who's trying to fuck everything up for you guys and trying to cause drama by making her videos and making all these tweets and stuff and so forth, maybe this person's right. And it's like, what the fuck do you know, Beck? Like, really? You've never met Madison, and you're out here trying to defend her when you shouldn't even be in the situation because you don't know much of anything that you're talking about.
Can I butt in for a second?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just, you know, people make statements and then they open up.
Jesus. I want to say one thing, and like, I don't want to sound like this person who has no clue what they're talking about. But like, when you post something on Twitter that's on a public platform, you kind of have to expect that people who are fans of you or who have met you will see that. And as much as you may not like someone, you also have to respect the fact that they might like that, especially in Beck's case.
Oh, well, here's the problem. It's kind of like when one person is doing a public smear campaign on someone else, when they, for instance, in this specific context, you have somebody who did a video with me and they had done many videos with me prior, and they didn't tell me that they had any bad feelings about the video whatsoever. They didn't even indicate that they didn't want the video to go live. The video goes live just as many videos have gone before, and then they publicly make a statement about, and this, I want you guys to understand the magnitude of this in 2018. When a woman comes forward about a man and her feeling uncomfortable around him, no matter the context, that guy is very highly, most likely, fucked, regardless of the context or anything like that. Okay?
Agreed.
So when you have a woman going behind a man's back and she doesn't indicate any discomfort whatsoever, and even though this is just a situation of me dressed as a baby and her not liking me dressed as a baby and making fun of DDLG, the point stands that you have a woman who went behind a guy's back and is publicly saying that she was uncomfortable about a man. You could destroy someone's life with this kind of shit. Okay, so then I see people like Ginger Beck, who's supposed to be a longtime supporter, fan, etc., someone I've met personally, somebody who was originally acting like she was in love with my spouse, made a love song for my spouse, etc., did all these super loving things. When you see a person like that go, well, maybe this person who's saying that they're uncomfortable with you in 2018 as a woman, publicly saying this to everybody, not for a second going behind and saying, hey, I'm going to talk about this or anything, any heads up whatsoever, I'm going to support this person who could potentially try to ruin your life. It's just bonkers to me, and for me to bring up, hey, why are you supporting this person who's obviously trying to create problems with me? Why are you supporting them when it's so fucked up in this world to do something like that to a guy when he hasn't really done anything at all?
And
Like she
I
had
don't worry, like, I
Madison.
understand.
Madison knew what I'm about. She knew 100% what I'm about. Okay, we did plenty of crazy videos together, and I've been in diapers plenty of times before. And I told her that we were gonna do a DDLG video, and I was gonna like make fun of it and shit. And so for her to like do that was fucked up, and then for anyone to support her after that was just crazy to me, because it's like I don't fuck with making women uncomfortable. Okay, I don't like that. I'm not okay with it on any level, and it makes
Jesus.
Oh, okay.
it makes
I don't know what it is, but Beck,
it makes me feel personally disgusted, and that's when I immediately run from those kinds of situations. So I mean, I had just seen Allie Loves Pain pile on and immediately defend Madison or whatever, and Allie Loves Pain used to be Allie Loves Lane or whatever, and she used to be all up in Lainey's nuts, hitting on Lainey like crazy and all that shit. Sorry for the misgender. So I was I'm getting piled on by a bunch of morons who were not involved in the situation and are believing this chick who they have talked to or otherwise known far less than me, because of course I've made way more videos and I've interacted with these people a lot and whatnot, and I've met this person in real life, and of course I'm the person who terminated the friendship, etc. And okay, so first off, can someone explain to me how it is that people keep siding with individuals who terminated from the relationship? Okay, when someone gets rejected from a relationship, okay, and everything would be fine if they weren't rejected from that relationship, how the fuck does anyone look at that party and go, oh yeah, they're right when they shit on that other person, because if that other person didn't cut out the friendship, then they would still be friends with them and not talking shit right now? Like,
I'm gonna put something out there very
that doesn't make
honestly.
it doesn't make any sense that you it doesn't make any sense that you hate somebody only because they rejected you. That's
Okay,
that's
Greg,
exactly
take a
like
breath.
exactly like saying this girl's a slut because she won't fuck me. You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, okay, Greg,
Yeah.
Greg, take a breath. Gregory, take a breath for 2
Something
seconds.
with
'Cause
your
hang on.
ego.
Wiggy, shut up. Take a breath for 2 seconds, Greg, because there's two things
Excuse me?
that needs to be said on this. There's one thing that's definitely
You did the British thing where you're like, okay,
shut up. There's one very strong reason as to why that people immediately are going to Maddie to support them, and it is for one very bad reason that I think is why we've gone too far the other way in terms of equality. It's because you're the man and she's the woman. I'm sorry, it is very that nowadays. And the other thing is, what people need to remember is, yes, you chose to put this, technically a personal issue, on a public platform, but I've noticed this a lot recently.
No. I didn't put this on. I didn't put this on a public platform. She made her videos, and then I had to respond.
Because I'm siding with you, Greg. So just listen, because I'm about to actually help you here. Yes, it's on a public platform. That I will give anybody saying that. But I don't agree with this mentality. People can put what they want on a public platform. They can give you 10% of 100% of a situation. Just because you have that 10% does not make you, like, it does not give you the right to the rest of the fucking 90%. So these people that come in and put their 2 pennies worth in, don't fucking bother, because you don't have the right to that other 90% of what you don't know because you weren't there. Yes, it's on a public platform. He has every right to put it on a public platform, or Maddie had every right to put it on a public platform. It's their fucking right. Stay out the fucking business of what you've been told, other than what you've been told, because that's all you have a right to. End of.
Well, that's odd, because I like sharing everything. Like when people.
Well, that's your choice, and they have.
Well, what I'm saying is I'm just waiting for someone to poke it, and then I tell them everything. You know, like just like inquire, and then I tell them. But that's kind of the issue, is like people don't really come to me and ask or whatever. In the important parties, I mean, they don't really ask.
Yeah. But
So-
I will give, it is on a public
But I
platform,
think before
and
you
whether
talk
that was
about,
your
I
choice
think
or
before
somebody
you
else's.
talk about something as if you know it, you should know more than 10%. And that's
Thank
the
you.
problem.
You have a point.
That's why
there.
I'm like, stop putting your 2 pennies worth in, because these people don't have any clue what's going on. Just observe, take what you're given, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, except the point beforehand where a woman makes an accusation and
Oh yeah, like I think we're definitely too far the other way nowadays. That a man and a woman fight, it's immediately the man's fault. Like, I do not agree with that. I don't know whether that applies in this
It's all
situation,
it's really
but
actually
it
all
would.
over the place though.
What I think it's a big
what I
mentality
mean by
nowadays.
that is Melanie Martinez, girl on girl. Everyone immediately hated Melanie Martinez. And then there's Momokun or Momokun or whatever. She pinched a guy's butt. She grew up some women's boobs and stuff. Immediately everyone hated Momokun. I think that people just typically are really against sexual assaulters right now. And I think the biggest issue is I have this.
Pepper.
I have this little posse of people who initially they were shitting on Madison because Madison was associated with me. But the moment Madison says anything bad about me, suddenly they're all bros with her. So they're originally saying Madison is a domestic abuser and that she's a psycho, etc. But Madison goes, I was uncomfortable. And now everyone's like, oh, you're a victim. You're a hero. Like this. And it's just like, I think it's this group that wants to see me get fucked up. And they will do everything they can to make that happen. And I think that's the real issue. Because like for instance, if somebody let me make this point. If somebody came out against Dan is not on fire, saying that Dan is not on fire made them uncomfortable because he did something in a video that, you know, like a baby diaper or something, everyone would say you're a fucking dumb bitch. Okay, so like that's why I just think it's not exactly about gender, because people love Dan is not on fire. If you're a woman and you come out against someone that everyone loves, a lot of them are going to shame you into silence. That's what happens a lot. So it's much more complicated than gender, dude.
Well, as far as in the spotlight community.
Yeah, but in general nowadays, it's such a big mentality nowadays. With like, I don't know. I think, in my opinion, equality's gone past being equal and tipped too far on the other way, and it's become men beating. Like and this is in normal every day.
again.
Sorry,
Right.
what?
SJWs are at it again, she said.
Social justice warriors?
Basically, that the scale in terms of balancing it between genders and sexes and races and all that, it's starting, like, not really in anything else other than gender where I've seen it personally, but it's started to tip too far the other way.
Oh yeah, people are at the point of like a bunch of influencers on Twitter right now are saying that we're in a fucking civil war, like with all these different groups. And it's like that's not true, but
Yeah.
they have like slews of people just like agreeing with them, and it's terrifying.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, wage gaps exist, like,
Yeah.
privilege due to being a male exists, but what also exists is men being convicted in longer sentences for equal crimes to women, men having higher suicide rates.
I like where this is going.
What do you mean?
We're now discussing like really deep gender politics.
Well, it's just it's all kind
Well, I
of
mean, it's a
engrossed
long
into it
time.
because
I
this
think
is
the point-
fucking nowadays. This is what people are fucking fighting on.
Someone said, "How is this related to Maddie at all, Becca?" Okay.
Fight me. That's why.
Yeah.
No, the point she's getting at is everything has two sides to it.
Thank you.
Sometimes the other side is like
I just
pure
don't care.
ridiculous.
I English. I don't talk.
Me
American
too.
very well.
But let's
also
make
don't
one
care,
thing.
Liz.
Let's make one thing clear. If you're going to say that anything, you're going to say publicly anything bad about somebody, don't expect to work with them again, just because that is going to make them uncomfortable that you didn't talk to them directly. You know,
Right.
I'm amazed that I guess I shouldn't be amazed, but I was kind of like in shock that like she didn't understand what the fuck was going on, because you don't just make a video saying, hey, I'm uncomfortable around this person, and then the other person's like, yeah, let's record together again. No, you're uncomfortable around me. I can find somebody else to work with, easy. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So. And then a lot of people are saying that she didn't say shit about me, but she was like saying I used her, and she was saying all kinds of shit, and then she like leaked part of Lainey's texts that Lainey said to her. I leaked my own words, is what I leaked. I didn't leak anything she said to me or whatever.
Nice.
But I leaked my own words to her. But then she leaked Lainey's text and removed it because there was like allegedly sensitive information in it or something like that. It's just there's a lot that she's done and deleted that you haven't seen. But like let me be clear. There's a lot of shit that was coming from this chick, a lot of accusations, or not accusations, but like just really annoying shit that she said. And that's why Lainey is just so fed up with the person, and I'm beyond fed up. So.
Well, it was understandable. I mean, she kind of had a gross overreaction to it.
Greg, Beck would like to respond.
Oh,
I'm a
it's
loud
fine.
cunt, so I'm gonna. Beck, go.
Thank you.
Huh.
So, sorry. So my intention with that wasn't to defend someone who was like trying to make you feel uncomfortable and like trying to accuse you of something. Like when I saw her video, I didn't think, oh, like this is a calculated thing. This is like her trying to make it so people will accuse him of something. I saw her video and I saw it as an apology to her community. So
Beck,
Wait,
Beck,
from
let,
you-
I'm gonna be a little insensitive right now. People when they get into situations like arguments or whatever like this, they do a lot of things, and I've dealt with a lot of people in arguments
I know
and
what
so
you're about to
forth.
say, Greg.
And let me give you an example. Okay, so Maddie at some point told Lainey that she was suicidal because of, you know, that Lainey wasn't just going with everything Maddie said. And Lainey said, yo, that's manipulative. Like, you can't just say I'm suicidal when we're having an argument because you're trying to use that to win the argument or whatever. And like, I'm just saying, like, what I'm saying in all this is like, if you're so upset in a discussion that you're going to cry, I think we should have that discussion later.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's a fair or balanced or anything discussion if one person's emotional.
You're never going to have a clear head, Beck, in order to respond in the
Yeah.
headspace you're in now. I will say I agree with him there because I agree with it because I've been on the worst end of it.
Yeah, like you can email me. I think you know my email or whatever, and you can just say your piece and I'll read it and everything. It's just I don't think we're gonna have a productive conversation or whatever here. That doesn't fuck me up emotionally because like when you're talking, I'm feeling bad and I don't really want to like go there live. I don't want to feel shitty and have everyone feel shitty. But I do think you have a right to express your feelings and so forth. So if you want to email me or whatever, just don't, you know, say everything's fine and then make a video or something. That would be shitty. Why I have a problem with Greg, even though everything seemed fine. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I don't want to offend you. I'm just saying I kind of feel like Dr. Phil right now because there was this girl who was like, there was this video that was not too long ago. She was like starting something. She was like really dramatic, and he was like, you know, my show's not about melodrama, so I'm just gonna cut that out right here. You have nice, like that kind of thing. I don't know, man.
Yeah, no, it's a very.
I don't want to feel
illness.
emotional right now. It's just fucked up. Like I don't.
No, and it's also a very real thing with mental illness nowadays. The problem is the people who are suffering and have been on the suffering end, you can cause a lot more damage to the people that don't have the mental illness because there's a very quick picture painted for somebody on the outside because somebody with a mental illness fighting somebody without a mental illness, both people will work each other up to anger, and then somebody with a mental illness very often will have the inability to deal with it. And like I'm saying, I've dealt with this myself, will then crash down into emotion, and that paints the other person as an aggressive villain, and it villainizes the other person, and it looks terrible from the outside. So it's not something really that should be on a live stream.
Grandma Rose said you're prolonging her pain to make her wait. She could just say how she feels now. Actually, she could email me, or she could even post in the Discord right now. She could communicate through I don't like hearing people. I don't like hearing people struggle to talk, and because like for instance, like when I make a video and I talk about an issue, I get myself worked up and then I start crying and then I hurt. You know, so it's better if you just like type it out rather than hearing yourself talk, because sometimes we psych ourselves out and it just gets worse for us and whatever.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
look, I'm
I
just
have
gonna
to
say,
wholeheartedly agree. I have to wholeheartedly agree with Greg. And Becca, I don't know what the shit you were just on about, but it has nothing to do with one side of person being.
No, actually, it has everything to do.
I love people giving Becca
I'm
shit. It gives me so much
sorry.
satisfaction.
But
Right. No,
what
actually, the
fuck?
thing is,
No,
hang on, Deb,
seriously,
hang on.
Greg
Whoa,
is just trying to keep things. No.
Deb, for
I'm
stop yelling.
I'm not
For
mad
stop,
or anything.
Stop. Yeah, but you're
and I'm not
yelling.
yelling.
You're yelling.
No, I'm yelling.
Bring
This
it
is like a
down,
bar
please.
conversation when everyone's drunk.
Jesus.
I'm not
Right.
yelling.
Mayonnaise.
Dev, you need to turn the intensity
Becca
down
shit
to a
aside,
5,
like,
and you have to
No, I
realize-
totally agree with you, Greg. If she has things to say to you and she's emotional
God, it's like
about
Thanksgiving.
it should be taken care of through email or through some other behind the scenes shit that doesn't have anything to do with the Discord.
it is interesting.
live.
It is interesting. Ginger chose to handle it in Discord and didn't just email me in the first
Yeah.
place. But
Yeah, exactly.
it would have been
yeah.
nice to get an email
Yeah.
about that.
can I
Exactly.
like add a
Nice.
perspective
You have
on this?
personal
Do it.
things.
Hey, we're gonna
You know
we
him,
gotta
you know
wrap it
that
up in a
you
couple
want.
minutes. So what'd you have to say, Booty?
Oh, no, I just want to say fuck that person on you now trying to get Beck to express herself on Discord Live, because that's exploiting somebody's fucking feelings for your personal enjoyment. And that's not
Exactly.
fucking okay. Whether I disagree with Beck or not, which honestly, like, that doesn't matter, but still.
It doesn't matter.
This became like a
Exactly.
talk
It's
radio
like,
show,
this
you
is-
guys.
Yeah.
I know. What the fuck?
I just
You're
want
so
to say,
annoying.
fuck you, guy who said the last caller.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and follow us on Twitter to keep up to date on your favorite streamers. We'll argue later.